at the bottom end of the circuit. You can see it's an old road circuit, and it's still got those characteristics, hasn't it, of a road. It's crowned. If it rains, the water seems to flow off it nice and easily. And yeah, it's a classic event. And as we said before, the two main protagonists in the World Championship out of action. So, likes of Eddie Lawson, people who haven't won a race this year have a great chance of racking in a win.
There's Juan Garriga on board the Ducados Yamaha as well, starting from that second row of the grid. Watch out for him. Chance for him to maybe go on to snatch the first podium.
20-lap race, so not that many laps, but of course the length of the circuit makes it the obligatory distance.
They're really going fast and hard at it, aren't they, on this warm-up lap? Just getting some heat into the tyres, making sure everything's ready for the start of the race, for that push down the dogleg straight into turn one on the first lap.
And back up towards the start and finish, up towards the chicane. As always, the crowd very enthusiastic.
That fast left, the ram's hook in there as well, very testing corner. Brings them back, the chicane, the final corner, and this is your grid lining up.
It's round 8 of the 500cc championship. Mick Doohan has dominated the championship so far, 5 wins, 2 second places. Wayne Rennie's had 1 win. Kevin Swans, who is there, number 34, 1 win also.
So it's Lawson, and it's Kaczynski, then Schwantz, and on the outside is Chandler, row 2, Garriga, Crivier in there, and Randy Momola, and then Alex Barros on the outside. So they're your front 2 rows for this race. Pick a winner, because it's sure to be exciting.
Green flag being shown, we're away. Looks like a good start by Kevin Swan.
Yeah, he gets away from 3rd position very well indeed, down through this dogleg straight, and it's going to be Schwantz taking the lead. And just in behind him was Alex Barros. What a start from the Brazilian. Into turn 1, and Barros is 2nd, Lawson in 3rd.
Two Kojivas going well, chasing the Suzuki. Number 34, Kevin Schwantz leads the way. We look for the likes of Alex Crivier and others. Randy Momola from the second row of the grid. But Schwantz, massive favourite here in Assen. I can hear what the crowd think about him leading the way on the Suzuki.
Yeah, they really do like him here. You could just see a good start as well there by Miguel Duhamel. Down in 5th position, or up into 5th position, should we say. A good start from the Canadian on that Yamaha France bike. Down towards the Strumman for the first time. It's Schwantz leading. And just in behind him, it's Eddie Lawson on, so he's got through on his teammate. Lawson into 2nd, Barros 3rd, Chandler in 4th, then Duhamel.
Yeah, and already Eddie Lawson putting some real pressure on Kevin Schwantz at the front as they come onto the back straight for the first time round.
We call it a straight.
Yeah, it's got a beautiful kink in the middle. That's the place to watch Grand Prix motorcycle racing. Superb place to watch. And no better exponent than Assen on the Suzuki. Look at Eddie Lawson all over the rear wheel of Kevin Schwantz. He really wants to get past him. Perhaps he's a little bit worried about Alex Barros behind him, but it's certainly closing up. That's Doug Chandler in 4th place.
Yeah, Chandler just in behind him on the 2nd of the Lucky Strike Suzuki. So it's 2 Suzukis, 2 Kojivas in the front 4. We haven't said that on too many occasions this year, with like Mick Doohan and Wayne Rainey battling it out at the front. But round the Dykes Loop they come. And it's still Schwantz leading. So fast, so flowing this circuit. Really, they're on the throttle for the majority of the track. Such a fast lap here as well. And Schwantz, he holds the lap record here.
Schwantz, of course, still chasing his first World Championship. Eddie Lawson, 4 times World Champion, trying to achieve their first ever Grand Prix victory. Over the start and finish line for the first time, 19 laps to go. It's just got the taste of a really tough battle.
Yeah, these front 4 trying to pull away, aren't they, in the early stages? And Duhamel there just acting as a buffer in ahead of him, just behind him, sorry, was Alex Crivier. And then Randy Momola was in there, and that was Neil McKenzie coming through as well. Teammate to Duhamel.
Schwantz still leads the way out on that northern loop. So they make their way back towards the Strubben corner. Just settled down a little bit now at the front. Kevin Schwantz, 1 win already this season. As I say, Mick Doohan and Wayne Rainey, the 2 men that are fighting it out for the championship. We're going to say Doohan's running away with the championship, out of action.
Oh, that crash yesterday, how much will that affect things? very nasty, doing in hospital.
Yeah, double fracture of the leg, they think, don't they? Yeah. So, obviously, he will be out of action for a little while, and these men will want to rack in the points while that's happened, and Wayne Rainey also missing this race. But one would imagine should be back in action at the next round, which is, I think, Donington Park in England.
Barros there, the youngster, just holding off Doug Chandler as they fought their way down the vein slang. It's still Schwantz leading. He was under pressure as well from Eddie Lawson in turn. Good battlist at the front. No overtaking manoeuvres at the moment, but they're sure to come. And here comes the first from Chandler up into third. Through on the Brazilian Alex Barros.
Yeah, good move by Doug Chandler. Like certainly Alex Barros still chasing that first 500cc Grand Prix victory. Lawson, the wily old fox, in second place. Here he goes up the inside of Kevin Schwantz. Just lets him go through in first place. He's testing him every place on the circuit now. Eddie Lawson is exerting pressure on Schwantz. And in the meantime, Chandler and Alex Barros look very, very comfortable in third and fourth places. I won't say Schwantz is holding them up, but he certainly is not setting a searing place at the front, which means the guys behind him can't stay with him.
And of course, Eddie Lawson, world champion with Honda and Yamaha. How we'd love to get that win for Kajiva. And also, I'd love to challenge for the championship as well. That's the next step, of course, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah, wily old fox, you say.
And he's putting some real pressure on Kevin Schwantz. Schwantz won't mind. These two have had some mighty battles in the past. As you said, when Eddie Lawson won the World Championship, of course, for Yamaha, then won it on Honda, the only guy to win on a Yamaha and a Honda. Schwantz still to win his first world title.
It's sure to come one day.
And absolute Assen expert, Kevin Schwantz. They love him in this part of the world.
It just suits his style, doesn't it, so much. He really lets the bike loose, and he can just let it flow around this circuit. And that's what he's doing at the moment. There's no response as things go from Lawson or Barros. We've just seen Chandler's just dropped off. And we didn't see that, did we? He was in third position, but Doug Chandler, who'd got ahead of Alex Barros and into third, well, he's disappeared from the scene at the moment. So Chandler falling by the wayside. Been a few crashes so far this weekend.
Well, Wayne Gardner out of the race with concussion. Mick Doohan obviously with a suspected broken leg. Wayne Rainey with the injuries he sustained in Hockenheim. Kevin Schwantz and Neil Mackenzie also crashed in an unbelievable qualifying session. Carnage probably isn't the right word, but people crashing all over the place. And no real reason for it. The conditions weren't particularly bad. I think it's just that everybody's riding so hard and on the limit the whole time. And when you see Schwantz and Lawson out there at the front, you realise why, don't you?
And this is why they love Assen so much, because those fast cars, they just throw it in there, and they're up into fifth gear going through some of those corners. Over 200 kilometres an hour as well.
Comes Lawson, they come into the chicane. Very close indeed to Kevin Schwantz over the line. Long way to go. And Alex Barros looking very comfortable in third place. Still no sign of Doug Chandler.
It seems to me like Lawson closes right up under braking, but Suzuki out of the corners just seems to have the edge. Just seems to be a lot more solid coming out of the corners.
Garriga in fourth place. Alex Crevier again chasing his first ever 500 win in fifth. And Miguel de Hamel, the Canadian, absolutely flying in sixth place. Easily his best Grand Prix appearance so far. Settled down a little bit at the front. Still 16 3/4 laps to go. Packed house here at Assen.
As ever, always.
Just look at that crowd. And it's traditionally probably the motorcycle race of the year. 1949 Grand Prix racing started. It was at Assen, and it's been here ever since.
Down into the Strubben. Look at the banking here, and the fans love this corner. Great to see the bikes going through there. And it's still Schwantz. He loves that corner as well. He always seems to go well there.
Well, you've got to say, the two Kajivas, they have not won a Grand Prix race yet, and is Lawson going to get past Kevin Schwantz?
It looked to me like he was trying to make a move, and you can hear the crowd as well. We couldn't see it on the camera there, but up into the vein slang, he was certainly lining something up through the fast left, and Schwantz has reclaimed that position, but certainly looked to me as though Lawson attacked, and that's the place to do it, isn't it? Surprise attack down the vein slang.
Certainly is. As I said, Kajiva haven't won a Grand Prix race yet in the 500cc class. They've invested so much money into it. You get the feeling they are never going to have a better chance in this particular race. Certainly with Doohan and Rainey not there. second and third at the moment with Eddie Lawson and Alex Barros. If it's ever going to happen, surely it's going to happen this afternoon here in Holland.
And Schwantz, though, as we know, loves this circuit so much. He's won here for the last 2 seasons. He knows every inch of this Assen track.
Up through the Essex once again into the start and finish straight. There'll be 16 laps to go. Kevin Schwantz, one very quick glance behind him. Eddie Lawson right in his face as they race up towards the start and finish. Schwantz still leads. Again, Lawson just tests him out, trying to get up the inside, not quite coming through. Then we have Barros, Garriga, Alex Crevier absolutely flying now.
There you can see is John Kaczynski on board the second of the Roberts Yamaha bikes. Not quite there today, although he qualified in second.
Wasn't it? Yeah, bad start for the former 250cc world champion. 2 Americans at the front. I won't say in very different stages of their career. Certainly as far as results go, they're in very different stages of their career. World Championship. Lawson again really testing Schwantz, but he looks very solid at the moment. He doesn't want to move.
No, I mean, certainly closing up at times, isn't he, Lawson? But this track is such a way it can be ridden in different styles. And Schwantz has got his own unique style, hasn't he? The way he just lets the bike go.
Yeah, it's not an easy man to overtake, as Eddie Lawson is finding out.
And again, see how he took the tight line there? No way through for Lawson this time.
Down at the bottom end of the circuit, Eddie Lawson, number 7, of course, 34, Kevin Schwantz, and Alex Barros riding hard to hang with these 2 men at the front, but currently in 3rd place on the second of the Kajivas.
Down towards the Duikersloot and Mandeveen corners. Right at the far end now, long way, and then it's a big drag to the line. They're already thinking about this final section now as Lawson closes in once more. A little look behind from Schwantz, but nothing doing at the moment, but he knows he's there, and it's pressure all the time being put on him by the multi-world champion.
And all the time, Alex Barros just hangs in there and watches.
He's having a good race, the youngster.
Yes. Is Lawson trying to overtake him, or is Lawson just trying to pressure him? I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure. Barros could mess it all up for both of them, couldn't he? Because in 3rd place, he's going to probably be very, very aggressive indeed. As over the start and finish line they come, 15 laps to go.
Here comes Lawson now again, trying to take that inside line into the first corner, but again Schwantz just able to carry that bit more speed through the corners, isn't he?
I think Lawson is trying to pass him.
Oh, of course he is. He'd love to be in front of Schwantz. It'd be an easier prospect if you're at the front to block rather than to find a way through.
14.5 laps to go out on the northern loop. Schwantz leads Lawson. Barros still in 3rd place. Garriga, Crevier going well. John Kaczynski now coming into the frame after a bad start from that front row.
I wouldn't say it needed to be a do-or-die manoeuvre here at Assen, but you've got to do you've got to make a pass either in here at the Strubben or at some risky corner generally, because not too many hard-braking areas. That's why the riders love this circuit so much. They grab chunks of throttle and can let the bike fly through the corners. Now, any chance for Lawson through the Veenslang? Not this time again, Schwantz. He's wary of that manoeuvre now, isn't he? Just taking a tighter line on the last couple of laps through there.
Down at the bottom end of the circuit, Lawson again closes right up on Schwantz. Sunshine, massive crowd, 500cc racing at its very best, and that's what Assen is all about. Fabulous stuff.
And the helicopter there, you can just see them wend their way around this circuit. This is the furthest point from the paddock from here down in Mandeveen. It's a very fast run in to the line, all links into each other so nicely, this circuit.
Lawson again tucks right in behind Kevin Schwantz. They'll come around the left. They'll be thinking about the chicane that brings them back into the start and finish. I think Lawson's got to be a little bit closer.
Yeah,
he's going to actually take him here. Oh, he's gone around the outside, but Schwantz very defensive and very cleverly just blocks any move up the inside, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, I just think Lawson had to think, right, is there a way to go through on the outside there? Is there anything? But Schwantz had it all under control. And now, again, Lawson now around the outside. He parks his bike on the outside of Schwantz. Is the way through into turn 1. He thought about it, didn't he? Oh, and he catches Schwantz. And down go the 2 leaders. Kevin Schwantz and Lawson down and into the ditch for Eddie Lawson. And let's hope he's okay from that one. A nasty crash in turn 1. And it's Schwantz the Texan and Lawson. Well,
he just seemed to catch the back wheel, didn't
well,
he?
he
Eddie
was
of
pushing
Kevin
very
Swanson.
hard.
That's right. That's Eddie Lawson in the ditch. Kevin Swanson we still look for. There's the bike. Now Kevin Swanson, here we go. Let's watch it again. Lawson up the inside on the brakes.
There's no way through from that time. Schwantz has the line and he catches the rear, doesn't he, of Schwantz. And Schwantz gets put into almost into a high side, thrown off the bike. Down he goes. Oh, and that was nasty. The way his hand there, his wrist hit the tarmac. You can see it flapping about as well. Oh, that's nasty for Schwantz. And down goes Lawson. He clips as well the bike of Schwantz and he's into the ditch. Very, very nasty crash.
Lawson really did go a big bang into the ditch, didn't he? You wait to hear. There is Eddie Lawson. He looks okay, doesn't he? In a little bit of pain, but he's walking. Kevin Swanson, I think,
he's
not
down.
so
You can
lucky.
see behind. He's down on the medical team are seeing to Kevin Schwantz. And let's hope that Schwantz is okay. And Lawson will know he was at fault there. Might not want to admit it, but I think really, was there enough room through? Now, the youngster Alex Barros, the Brazilian, out in the lead on his own. Now this is a test for the youngster, isn't it?
It is. Okay, yeah, look at his board. He'd have seen the crash and suddenly everything. And here is Kevin Swanson still down, still receiving treatment.
Yeah,
as we say, let's just hope
right
he's okay.
hand looks okay, but
it's been a tough weekend for Grand Prix riders of Mick Doohan and Wayne Rainey. It does look like his hand.
Well, you can just see it flapping about there. A bit of blood in his hand. Anyway, let's hope that Schwantz's okay. There's the gap back between Barros and Juan Garriga as well. Two Spaniards behind, Garriga and Crivier. They're both searching for their first wins. Crivier, the former 125 world champion, of course. And he's getting some serious attention there. They probably want to put a brace on him or something, don't they? For Kevin Schwantz. No.
He wants to sit up, look.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
It is a good sign.
And quite right, the doctor.
I wonder if there's something with his legs there as well, because they're not moving too much, are they? So he's on the stretcher, and they'll take him away now. So Schwantz there.
That wrist looks horrible, doesn't it?
Doesn't look good.
Doctors are with him, medical staff there. That's all that can be done.
Won it here for the last 2 seasons, Kevin Schwantz. Definitely not in 1992.
Bit of the fairing look of the Lucky Strike Suzuki being picked up by one of the marshals. A sad end to the race for Kevin Schwantz. We wish him well.
So well, wasn't he, in the early stages, and looked to have it all under control. He looked groggy. I'm not surprised. The fair old banging he's been taking here. He looks a little bit dazed. Well, the mark at the front, the gap is closing, isn't it, between Barros and Garriga?
The Spanish Armada are coming with Garriga and Crivier.
I wonder if it's just got to Barros a little bit. Comfortable out there. I mean, you'd expect during the race that the pace would drop off, but...
Well, he was following 2 great riders, wasn't he? And doing a great
Always
job.
helps.
Now he's having to make the pace at the front himself, and that's not so easy. With a chance of winning his first ever 500cc Grand Prix, there's a great responsibility on him. Juan Garriga and Alex Crivier in exactly the same position. But in some ways, in these situations, it's easier for them to chase than for him to lead. Here he is.
Towards the Ram's Hook, or into what? Sorry, the chicane. We'll bring him back into the start-finish area.
Alex Barros.
4th place, so you can just see John Kaczynski coming through the chicane, so he's a long way off. He's got too much of a chance of winning this one, but I think these 2 Spaniards certainly in there will have a chance. And it's a big chance for one of the non-works bikes to challenge for a victory.
Rodney Mamola up into 5th place from the 2nd row of the grid. Rico Hamill down in 6th. Say Alex Crivier, former 125cc world champion, riding for the team run by Zito Pons, the former double 250cc world champion. So a real Spanish connection there. And Juan Garriga, top 250cc rider, now riding in the 500cc class, and they are closing on Barros at the front.
Yeah, that's clear, isn't it, at the moment? This is nosebleed time for Alex Barros, though, isn't it? Never been on the podium before in the 500cc class. And he's coming under attack now from Juan Garriga.
Just got a glimpse of John Kaczynski. There he is. And if he'd have made a better start, he'd have really fancied Kaczynski to win this race, wouldn't you? With so many people out. But just let's work it out. Wayne Gardner, Mick Doohan, Wayne Rainey out of the race before it started, and now Eddie Lawson and Kevin Schwantz out of the race. Here comes Alex Crevier trying to go to the every picture tells a story. The Kajiva and the Suzuki of Kevin Schwantz and Eddie Lawson crashing out in an incident while they were leading the race. Kevin Schwantz leading, Eddie Lawson just seemed to clip his back wheel. Eddie Lawson walked away, Kevin Schwantz stretching away.
Of course, Alex Crevier took his first podium in 500s at Malaysia in Shah Alam earlier on this year. Chance for a repeat of that. It'll be a first podium for Alex Barros, as we've said.
Just news on Doug Chandler. He did crash out. He suddenly disappeared, didn't he, Doug Chandler? We just heard now he actually did crash out of the race. So another faller. It's been an amazing weekend. Barros crosses the line, half distance. Can he hang on? I'm not sure. The two Spaniards charging after him. Garriga number 6.
I think that once they get to him, though, I have to say, it will help, won't it? It will help him.
Without a doubt. And perhaps even if they get past him, it won't be the end of the world. Crevier really now trying very, very hard to get past Juan Garriga.
It'll be a first podium, of course, as well for Juan Garriga as well, if it finished like this. So all of these riders, this is not where we expect them to be week in, week out, but with no Doohan, Rainey, Schwantz, Lawson all out of the race, Gardner too, and it's a big chance, isn't it? And they have to take it. This is where the pressure tells who will come to the fore, who will stand up and be counted. Will it be Barros, the Brazilian, or will it be one of the Spaniards, Garriga or Crevier? There is Crevier on that Kamsa machine, the Honda.
Whoever it is, they will be rewriting the record books because it will be their first ever 500cc Grand Prix victory. Obviously, Crevier has won 125s by winning the 125cc World Championship. Kaczynski, well, we're only just over half distance. Don't write him off yet. He's got them actually in sight.
And at the front, I just saw for a moment a flash of red. I thought maybe Garriga got through, but it's the other way around. It's actually Crevier now who's coming up into second position. I think Garriga did attack Barros there, but got it a little bit wrong, and that helped Crevier, and through comes a Spaniard into second position. So his highest spot ever in a Grand Prix, right, in a 500cc Grand Prix, of course. Former 125 world champion back in 1989 on the JJ Kobas.
Still very much the same team around him, isn't it?
Yeah, Antonio Kobas there.
Looking over Tico Pond. Great race at the front, just over half distance. It's got a long, long way to go. As I say, though, the history book should be rewritten, but it's still Alex Barros who leads. Alex Crevier in second place. Juan Garriga third. And is John Kaczynski closing, perhaps not closing enough? Well, the headlines may be who's not in this race. The headlines should be who's going to win this race. So there is John Kaczynski, former 250cc world champion, now in the 500cc class. Teammate to, of course, Wayne Rainey. Crevier beginning to put some big, big pressure now on Alex Barros. Done a lot of the hard work at the front, Alex Barros. Probably very content in third place until the crash of Schwantz and Lawson. Now having to ride in at the front. Crevier knows all about winning races, albeit in the smaller classes. So we'll know exactly what to do in this situation. And what he's doing is pressuring Barros all the way. So they're moving a long, long way to go. Only just over half distance. Lawson's still walking back. He looks actually a lot fitter now, doesn't he, than he was when he actually... it's a big crash into the ditch for Eddie Lawson.
It was a nasty one, wasn't it? Just missed the edge of the hay bales. And down he went at the front. Now Crevier attacks and he's through on the Brazilian. He forces Barros to sit up as well. And that's just going to help Kaczynski. I'm looking at Kaczynski, he really is closing in. The only one of these four to have won a 500cc race in the past. But now Crevier takes charge of this race.
Yeah, I think Crevier knows that Kaczynski's coming, and if they run at the pace that Barros was running at, it is not going to be quick enough.
There was the move again through the third gear right-hander, and Barros just forced to sit up in the middle of the corner. Clean manoeuvre though from Crevier, and he takes over. So it's Crevier, Barros, Garriga, and then Kaczynski in fourth. But Kaczynski's charging. Now Barros trying to find a way around the outside. And here he comes. Barros is coming back at him. And Barros reclaims the lead. He's not taking this line down at all. The Brazilian Alex Barros takes over in the Dutch TT.
This is good news for John Kaczynski. 9 laps to go. While they do this at the front, he's closed right up on this leading trio. Having said he's the only man to have won a 500cc Grand Prix. In some ways it'd be a shame because history books won't be rewritten, but while they scrap it out of the front, John Kaczynski closes right up on them. Well done Alex Barros though. He got back in the lead within half a lap. Crivier's got to do it all over again.
And all this scrapping at the front will just help Kaczynski out, who didn't have a great start to the race, but he's gradually coming back into it. And with the crash between Schwantz and Lawson at the front, this is why we've got such an exciting front four now in the Dutch TT, 8.5 laps remaining.
Yes, it's round 8 of the championship. As we said, Mick Doohan's dominated all the races so far. With Mick Doohan out, so many others out, this is a fabulous race at the front. There is John Kaczynski. Down as Gav said, he's won a 500 Grand Prix, the former 250cc world champion. And he looks very, very dangerous indeed in fourth place, trying to nick third from Juan Garriga, not able to do so. Crivier again thinks about getting up the inside of Barros. Barros holds firm. Very, very difficult one to name this, but you've got to say, as it stands at the moment, you'd think John Kaczynski would be the favourite to win this race.
Yeah, of course, winner of last year's Malaysian 500cc race at the Shah Alam circuit. And there he is, number 4. John Kaczynski, 250cc world champion.
Getting past these three in front, it's not going to be easy, is it? It's not going to be easy for him.
A couple of hot-headed youngsters there in Barros, Crivier.
Oh, they want to win that first race,
Of course they do.
They're not going to. They're never going to have a better opportunity than this with so many of the top riders out, either in the race or after qualifying. Comes Kaczynski once again. Thinks about getting up the inside of Garriga, but Garriga breaks very, very late indeed. The number 12, that bright red Cagiva, the Italian Cagiva, with a young Brazilian on board that leads the way with 8 laps to go.
Garriga, again, he's got good pace down the straight, just in some of the corners. Here comes Garriga, he's going to go through on Crivier. So, from one Spaniard to another, that's where we saw the move from Lawson on Schwantz, which all went wrong.
That's great news for Barros at the front.
Definitely.
These two trying to start scrapping it out. Kaczynski's going to have a nibble at Alex Crivier now. Garriga certainly has a lot of pace up through the start and finish and through that early northern section of the circuit, doesn't he? There's Kaczynski. So Barros still leads the way. Crivier now second, John Kaczynski third, and Garriga's dropped down to 4th.
Mistake there for Garriga. And not run off track or anything, but that's let Kaczynski in the... That was easy enough, wasn't it, for the American now? So he's up holding the American honour, and he's just trying to go around the outside of Crivier. Crivier in turn, trying to find a way through on Barros. No,
there's
Garriga, isn't it? Just running it wide in the northern loop. Very wide, too wide, and that's what let Kaczynski through. So, mistake from Juan Garriga.
Barros chasing the first ever victory for him and also for the Italian Cagiva factory. What a chance this is. Alex Crivier in second place, chasing his first ever 500cc victory. And the 250cc world champion, John Kaczynski, sole representative in the Roberts Yamaha team with Wayne Rainey out. How he'd love to win the race for his teammate. Up into second place comes John Kaczynski. Can he make it hold? Crivier, there's no way through, surely no. Kaczynski now up into second place.
He's looking better and better, isn't he, as this race goes on, John Kaczynski. And you'd have to say your money would be on him, wouldn't it, with the experience.
7 laps to go.
Here comes Crivier, though, on the inside. He's not going to take it lying down, and Crivier goes back into second position. All the time, Barros at the front, just pulling away and opening up a slight gap over Crivier and Kaczynski. And all the time, Garriga's coming back into it. Garriga in 4th position, having made a mistake on the previous lap. But he is closing up again.
Round the northern loop they come. Bright sunshine here in Assen. The only Saturday race on the calendar. And just, that's what it's all about. We're right with Randy Mamola. What a view of the Assen circuit.
Yeah, in the northern loop section. Fabulous. Look at how the track's cambered in the middle as well. Fabulous through here, just fast and flowing. Doesn't feel like there's any corners through there. Already they're into the Veenslang, the back straight.
Very, very fast kink. And it's still Barros. He runs it wide. Barros Crivier's gone through, and also John Kaczynski's gone through. And Barros has slipped right down to 4th place. Garriga also through. Mistake by the Brazilian. The first mistake we've seen the whole race from Alex Barros.
But it only takes one mistake, doesn't it? And it's opened the door for Crivier and Kaczynski. So Crivier leads once more, number 28 on the Kamsa Honda.
Oh, Alex Barros had done so much of the work at the front. Gavin said just a little mistake, bang, they're through like a pack of wolves.
Yeah, tyre problems probably for Barros on the Cagiva, and he's just pushing so hard. He just runs it wide, and through they come. Now, Kaczynski at the front senses this is his moment, and as we said, he will be the favourite in this situation, and through he comes to lead as they cross the line now, 6 laps to go.
John Kaczynski leads the Dutch TT here at Assen. The 2 Spaniards hounding him. Poor old Alex Barros just a little bit out of it now in 4th place. Can he catch these 3 leaders? Kaczynski, Crivier, Garriga, Barros, then Randy Mamola in 5th place. Going to Hamel, absolutely. Miguel de Hamel, sorry, I'm talking about his dad. Miguel de Hamel, great ride by the Canadian in 6th place. Crivier wants to win this one, but it's a tough man in front of him. On the works machine as well.
And to be fair to Alex Barros, after that mistake, he was a long way back, but he's already right up with Garriga. And maybe it's not all done and dusted for Barros. Maybe he's still got a shot.
John Kaczynski still leads the way as they're coming to Struben. Crivier right behind him. Garriga had a great race, the Spaniard. Barros, after that mistake, was what? Less than a lap ago. He started to catch the 3 leaders, closing right up on them. Then it's a big gap. It's going to be between these 4. Crivier, what a place to try and get past John Kaczynski, and he has got through. That is a brave ride by the former 125 CC World Champion, and he leads the way once again.
Yeah, of course, a rookie season in 500s, Alex Crivier, and not riding like a rookie here, is he? Riding like a seasoned campaigner.
Hard on the brakes. Kaczynski right in behind him. Barros has joined in the fun as well. It could go, well, any of these 4 could win this particular battle.
We haven't said too much about Garriga.
No,
he's
we
not out
haven't.
of it, is he?
No, he's not.
Shot one of the back markers now. Crivier, number 28, through the ramps, up and down into the chicane. A chance to overtake on the final lap here, and you can see Barros has used it, hasn't he? Into the chicane he comes. He comes from miles back, Barros, and into 3rd position.
The last of the late breakers, they call the young Brazilian, and I think that was about right there. They still leads. Barros back into 3rd, Garriga in 4th place. Again late on the brakes, Garriga trying to get up the inside of Alex Barros, not able to do so.
You're not going to outbreak Barros, are you?
Randy Mamola still in 5th. You go to Hamel in 6th.
And Barros had to think about going through on Kaczynski. Is he through? No. Again, you could see just the different lines being able to take around this circuit. We saw on board with Randy Mamola how fast it is through there. Very difficult to get past.
Really closing up at the front with 4.5 laps to go. Barros putting some enormous pressure on John Kaczynski. Crivier still leads the way. Don't rule out Garriga in 4th place. It's John Kaczynski, the only winner in this class. So the 3 other riders chasing some glory, chasing a place in the history books.
Chasing first podiums as well. Well, Crivier had that podium earlier on in the year, didn't he? But still, chance for a first win anyway.
Seems to be trying to do a Crivier there, trying to overtake him where the Spaniard took him to take the lead on the previous lap, not able to do so. I think they're getting in amongst the back markers now. Let's hope they don't play any part in the race, because this is such a great encounter. 3.5 laps to go.
No, they got out just out of the way well. So it's Crivier leading. It's Kaczynski in second, Barros in third, and can't quite see Garriga off the back there.
He's just dropped off the pace a little bit. Let's have a look from the
There he
helicopter
is.
shot. Yeah, he is.
Just a few more lengths behind, isn't he?
But with less and less distance to go, that could be a very, very important gap, couldn't it?
That just shows you what the circuit's like, doesn't it? That fast-flowing area. And down into the chicane. Here comes Barros. So Barros is back into it. He goes through on Kaczynski now, and Crivier leading. Big look around from Crivier. No one there. It's Crivier from Barros, and then from Kaczynski. But Barros, despite a mistake a few laps ago, now looking like he's got a chance of claiming a first 500cc win.
Neil Mackenzie now up into 6th place in front of De Hamel. Randy DeModa still in 5th place. But really, all eyes now centred on this race at the front. It's a difficult one to call. Barros has done brilliantly after that mistake, dropped him from 1st to 4th. He's challenging Crivier once again.
Oh, and a moment there for Barros, wasn't it? He's just trying to run it as deep in every single corner as he can. He wants to be close, didn't he, to come into the Strubben right in behind Crivier, but not this time. He won't be moved this time around. So Crivier leads, and Barros, who's on a charge, in second. Kaczynski in third. Garriga still there or thereabouts as well. This is turning into a brilliant Dutch TT. Okay, the big hitters are out.
But some of these are the future of 500cc Grand Prix racing, aren't they? Alex Crivier, Alex Barros. Well, obviously John Kaczynski's already there. Juan Garriga. These are the future stars probably of this class. 3.5 laps to go. Bright sunshine here in Holland, and the massive crowd witnessing a classic 500cc battle. It's round 8 of the 500cc World Championship.
So tight out there. Very, very tense atmosphere around Assen, who will take away the victory in the TT. Still Crivier leads under pressure from Barros through the Ramshoek and heading up towards the chicane. This is where Barros will want to do it, as he did on the previous lap to Kaczynski, and he's through on the inside line. But that's brave from Crivier. Very brave to leave his bike in there, and he does so and hangs on to the lead. Dress rehearsal maybe for the final lap.
Wow, that was terrific stuff by Alex Crivier. 3 laps to go. We've seen Barros so good onto the brakes into the chicane, but he left him with nowhere to go. It's a brave manoeuvre by the Spaniard, and he's hung on to the lead. Garriga not out of it yet in 4th place. He's tightened it up also. Alex Crivier getting closer and closer to that first 500cc win. Alex Barros getting closer and closer to that first ever Grand Prix win. Here's Randy Mamola in 5th place. We ride with him. Down to the northern loop for Randy Mamola. Former winner here, of course, riding for the Honda team. Back at the front.
Oh, and just round the outside there, Alex Barros coming round. That's completely surprised out of the Strubben down the Vane slide. Barros takes over. Kaczynski's going to take second. So it's all change at the front. But Crivier's hanging in tight there, isn't he? Oh, Crivier does well to hang on to second position there. Brilliant stuff from the youngster.
He's riding very hard indeed, Alex Crivier, isn't he? We saw him stop Barros taking him at the chicane. We just saw then stopping Kaczynski get past him, but I think everybody was caught by Alex Barros and round the outside. Barros back at the front, as he has been for a great deal of this race. It's getting nearer and nearer the finish. Can he do it? Came to Europe as a 15-year-old to ride in the 80cc class, Alex Barros.
I think he'd surely be the first Brazilian to win in 500s.
Certainly would.
And Crivier, would he be the first Spaniard to win in 500s?
Could well be.
Yeah. I think so.
Obviously the Spanish were not dominated, but a great success in the 125s and the 250s, but not in the Premier class. It's going to be a historic day anyway. The only way it won't be a historic day is poor old John Kaczynski if he wins, isn't it? That's been a bit unfair to him.
Here comes Crivier down into turn one. And Crivier's going to take over now. He wouldn't have thought of anyone outbreaking Barros, but he has done, the rookie. This is a classic Dutch TT. Okay, we don't have your Doohans, your Rainies, your Schwantz, as we've said. Well, Schwantz crashing out with Lawson a few laps into this race. But nonetheless, this is a glimpse of the future here, and it's brilliant, brilliant racing.
Barros very, very close indeed. Little twitch, I think, from Barros. It also just that his front wheel almost touched the rear wheel of Crivier's Honda. I'm sure it didn't. There's a real twitch as they come into Struben.
Oh, and he runs it wide, Barros, as well. That maybe upsets him a little bit. Runs it a little bit deep into the Struben, and Kaczynski takes over now. Will he get the chance to take victory here? This is all-round brilliant stuff.
Maybe just a few tyre problems, perhaps, for
Yeah,
Alex
I
Barros.
would expect for all of these riders.
Yeah.
At this stage of the race, they're all going to be feeling it on the tyres.
Crivier leads the way. Kaczynski closing all the time in second place. Right behind them, Alex Barros. Juan Garriga just dropping off a little bit in fourth place. And with 1.5 laps to go, he needs to be closer. It's going to be between these three. Here is Garriga. Tremendous ride for him, and he hasn't finished on the podium in a Grand Prix in the 500cc class, and I don't think he's going to do so now this afternoon. But who's going to be on the top step of the podium? Just over 1 lap to go. Crivier, Kaczynski coming under real pressure there from Alex Barros.
And in 1 lap time, it's going to be this run in, the Rams hook towards the chicane. It's going to decide this race. So twitch from Crivier down towards the chicane. Kaczynski thinks about going around the outside, but very difficult to pass on the outside through there. Perfect line for Crivier through the chicane. Dress rehearsal for 1 lap time. 6.049 kilometres to go. Who will win the Dutch TT?
Kaczynski hard on the brakes, trying to get up the inside there of Alex Crivier, not able to do so. Alex Barros around the outside. All tactics have gone now. It's just head down, head for the checkered flag. Are we going to see history be made? Crivier would be the first Spaniard to win a 500cc Grand Prix. Alex Barros, the first Brazilian. John Kaczynski sandwiched between them, trying to spoil the party.
Well, he's only had 1 win though, hasn't he, John Kaczynski, in the 500s last year in Malaysia. So it'll be a big day for him as well. This is a big race for these 3 riders. Here comes Barros through on Kaczynski, and that's just going to help Crivier, who's got his head down and he's trying to streak away from the other 2. Doesn't want to give them a chance, but is there a chance for Barros now?
I think it's going to come from Barros, because he just run it a little bit wide there, but Crivier really has got his head down now. Alex Crivier is riding the race of his life here at Assen.
He's almost onto the grass, isn't he, as they come through the Beanslang. Oh, this is brilliant stuff as he pulls away from Barros.
Half a lap to go.
The crowd are on their feet. You can hear them cheering every single corner as well. The rookie Alex Crivier leads, but there's got to be one more attack from Barros.
Perhaps at the chicane, he's so good on the brakes, coming in the start and finish, Alex Barros. But he's got to be a little bit closer than he is now, but he is closing at the bottom end of the circuit. Half a lap to go here at the Dutch TT. Round 8 of the championship. What a race it's turning out to be.
Big moment for Barros coming out of the right-hander there. And Barros has lost second to Kaczynski. And it's going to be Crivier surely now who will win his first 500cc Grand Prix. Through the Rams hook for the final time. A big gap back to Kaczynski. Only mistake now surely for Crivier would lose it.
He breaks for the chicane for the final time. History has been made here at Assen. Alex Crivier has rewritten the history books.
Crivier takes his first 500cc win. Kaczynski second, Barros third. But congratulations to the former 125 champion Crivier in his rookie season in 500s. And what a ride from him. Took a podium early this season, and that showed all his promise. On board with Randy Mamola.
I think Mamola coming up into 5th place.
Yeah, 5th position behind Juan Garriga, who also had a decent ride up there.
Listen to the applause for Randy Mamola. They love him at Assen.
Still as popular as ever. But Alex Crivier has taken his first 500cc Grand Prix victory. He's the first in the class for Spain as well.
There's Randy Mamola. De Hamel in 6th place, they did well. pushing now Mackenzie back to 7.
Yeah, good battle going on between those two, swapping positions, but the day belongs to Crivier. As we've said, the big hitters, the big men, may not have been in this race, although Schwantz and Lawson did crash out early on. It's the men who stand up and be counted after that are ones to look for in the future, and surely Crivier will be a name for the future. Around he comes to take the applause through the Strubben. That's Durackers, the Dutch rider. He comes across the line. He's going to be 12th, and he's going to take the applaudits. He's the top Dutch rider here.
Rider still crossing over the line. Durackers.
You hear the fireworks going off as well. It's a party atmosphere, and there the Spanish fans with their flags waving proudly.
He's getting a superb response from the crowd, isn't he, Alex Crivier?
Well,
I think they appreciate what a great race it was.
A great race, a great performance from a youngster as well. Oh, he'll be partying long into the night, won't he?
With this lot. Alex Crivier wins his first 500cc Grand Prix and becomes the first Spanish rider to win a Premier Class race here at Assen.
What a place to do it as well at this circuit, so steeped in history as it is. They make their way into the Parc Fermé. Randy Momola, you just see accepting the applause from the fans as ever, the showman. Wow, it was a breathtaking race, wasn't it?
It was. What a weekend it's
Including
been.
the crash from Schwantz and Lawson early on.
Then back to qualifying, Mick Doohan's big crash, Wayne Gardner's crash, Wayne Rainey being taken out of the proceedings by team manager Kenny Roberts, saying he's not fit enough to ride. And then we get a race like this. What a weekend it's been. There's John Kaczynski. I've got to say, I fancied him to win the race when he was right up there with him.
And there he is, fresh-faced Alex Crivier. There's Cito Pons alongside him. Confirmation of the results then, just over 42 minutes. Crivier wins his first 500cc Grand Prix. John Kaczynski in second, Alex Barros in third. Juan Garriga in fourth, not too far behind. Then it was Romola, De Hamel, Mackenzie, Catalana, the Italian, Eddie Laycock, the Irishman, taking ninth.
This is the day Alex Crivier will not forget. And Cito Pons alongside him. Was the former double 250cc world champion. The team manager puts his arms and flowers in the air. Alex Crivier claps him. But history's been made here at Assen. Alex Crivier wins his first ever 500cc Grand Prix and also becomes the first Spaniard to win a Premier Class race. What a day for him and Spain.
First podium alongside him as well for Alex Barros. Well done to him. He had a brilliant ride. It could have been the first victory, couldn't it, for the Brazilian. And John Kaczynski takes the trophy for second place. And we're going to get the Spanish national anthem for Crivier. There is Barros. Well done to him. Great ride. So Crivier celebrates with the champagne. This rookie takes his first victory in 500s. He's certainly one for the future.